guys, welcome to the fourth episode of the podcast Unity. I'm really glad that we are starting again after a month break. Right here with me is Kiran Chukkapali. He is our guest of today. As you can see, Sophie is not here right now, but that's fine. The show must go on. The next time Sophie will be here again. Kiran is a distinguished social activist and also Himalayan yoga. The title is even granted by the Himalayan Kuru Mandala. It means a lot. So it's an honor for me to have you sitting next to me and to have a talk about social activism. He's also the founder of Think Peace, an organization established in 2012. The organization is safeguarding the human rights of marginalized communities. For example, during the COVID-19, they electrified and empowered the tribal villages in India, and it also you are also helping displaced Hindu, Sikh, and Buddhist refugees, right?
Correct.
It's a great honor and a big achievement. I would like to hear more about it. So, explain it more. Yeah. Introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Kim, and also the whole GHRD team for having me here. Namaste, as she said, she spelled it right. It's Kiran Chukkapali, and I'm a social activist. I work in restoration of dignity of displaced people that are coming into India from Pakistan and Bangladesh. Before that, I served many indigenous tribal people, tried to work to uplift their moral poverty. And also, yes, like she mentioned, I also had an opportunity to serve my people during the COVID.
Yeah, I'm really curious about what inspired you to get involved with social activism, especially because of your practice within yoga as well.
Yes. For me, I would say until 19, from the age of 6 to 19, I've been searching a lot. Like when let's say there is a flight going above us, someone sees it, they want to become a pilot. So for me, when I saw like Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, these are all like great leaders that have come from India, or Adi Shankara, so when I saw those people, whenever I used to see their pictures, the confidence in their face, absolutely nonchalant. Right. So when I used to see that, it used to give me a lot of confidence, and I wanted to be one of them. So that's how I started my yoga practice very early. And by 19, I've learned a lot of scriptures, a lot of knowledge. But how do I experience that? Learning is very different from experiencing it. So that's when I thought, okay, let me serve people. So I started to experiment whatever I have learned through my scriptures. I wanted to experiment on the ground. So that's how I started when I was 19. And if you talk about one inspiration, I would say my country itself. Like for me, India stands for service and spirituality. And I wanted to become India myself. So I dedicated myself to service and spirituality.
I get it. It's really inspiring. How did the journey from that into your thought and idea of I want to establish my own organization, like Think Peace?
No, there was nothing like I wanted to establish my own organization. That was never. Even today, I don't think it's my own organization. I just happened to be a founder of it. The idea, in fact, the registration of my organization, I've only done it because I needed bank accounts and other legitimate things, because I was working in a very sensitive area. We have something called Naxal movement in India, which is homegrown terrorism that happens within India, not across the border. So it was that kind of an area that I was working in. So I needed a lot of documentation. So that's how I started the organization. But what moved me the most was how even in 2012, so I was in Himalayas and I decided to serve my people. And I had a very good knowledge of politics. Right. So in India, like for example, if there is a scheduled tribe, which means the indigenous tribe, and then there are other caste system and all of other issues. So wherever there is a scheduled tribe, you cannot stand elections there. Like politically, you cannot stand elections there because I don't belong to that tribe. So wherever that tribe is, only they can participate in the election. So I did not want my work to be politically motivated. So I chose that area for that reason. And when I 2012, I did about like 8,000 kilometers of walking across India.
Wow.
To understand the people, because this is one work, that is what dharma, that is, my religion teaches me, that this work shall never be done with moral superiority, where I am going to people and telling them what is good for them.
Right.
Just go to them, keep your eyes open, keep your mouth shut.
Right.
Just listen to the people. So I listened to them, and 2012 I've discovered that there were about 55, 60 tribal villages which never saw electricity until 2012.
Oh, wow.
So I had an opportunity again to serve them, and we gave solar power light to all 55 villages, and that started the work, and everything was spiraling up after that.
So you mentioned that you walk pretty long distance, right?
Yeah.
So what story mostly impacted you from your travel?
There are many things. Like for example, I went to a lot of fishermen areas. Mostly it was hilly terrain and all of it. I wouldn't say inspired, but something that shocked me was how the indigenous tribes. Until then, it's all about like what we see in the media, right? So everywhere they're like, oh, they're very very welcoming and all that. For 2.5 years of working there, during my research, they haven't even offered me water. It's exactly opposite
Why?
to what, because that is the kind of mental poverty they were pushed into. Right, like the Western philosophies came in the shape of religion, and they would tell them that whatever you are is good for nothing. Something from above should come and lift you up. And then the Naxals who are present in that area, they would tell them that the government is cheating you, you need to fight back. The government would come and they would say something. Everyone were telling them that they're good for nothing. They can't make their own choices, which they started to believe, unfortunately. So because of that, anyone new coming into those villages was like a block for them. So for me, I had to persist a lot for 2.5, 3 years to gain that trust from them. And today, September 17th, which is my birthday, it just happened out of fun, where my friends started coming to visit me. Now it's called Foundation Day, where 3,000, 4,000 tribals come to my village where I used to live, and they celebrate.
Oh, that's
From
so
same
nice.
people that were not giving water. So what I learned out of it was, rather than going with ego, that okay, I came to do something for you, you have to reciprocate. Just keep doing your job, just keep serving, and everything will come back to you.
So basically, what you're saying is how you gain trust from the communities is basically you kept doing what you wanted to do and didn't expect anything back from it, and that's how you gained
Absolutely,
trust.
yeah. See, that's where the scriptures and all, as I said, learning something versus experiencing is different. Like for example, what I used to do was, because no one was supporting me, and I found only 2 villages first, which did not have electricity, right? And then from there to find 55 villages, I was using Google Earth to find out the hilly terrains, okay? So I ended up in this particular village called Sodoram, which is on top of a mountain. It takes about 4 hours to trek. But I somehow missed the whole route. I ended up taking 7 hours to trek up. And another second thing I forgot was, it gets really dark there very fast, because it's a very high terrain, right? So I was supposed to go do research and come back. But by the time I was in that village, it already got dark. The whole night I was sitting under a tamarind tree. With that space is one of the highest cobras in India, one of the biggest cobras in India. So even a leaf moves, like how they say, like, you fear more in imagination than in reality. I used to think that was a snake, right? Not a single person from the village came and offered me to come into their home.
Oh yeah, because they were scared, right?
Yeah, they were scared.
Yeah.
So, but then next morning when the sunlight came, I started coming towards down, and then I had this muddy water, because I was not having water. There was fields all over. So I had this muddy water. When I had that water, there was some deep pain. Like, like having muddy water was not easy. And going through the whole night with no support, and even if I die, my family would know maybe probably after 3 or 4 days, because I was in such deep area. So that gave me a lot of anger, and then why am I doing this, right?
Yeah.
So by the time I came down another 3 hours, so that's when scriptures come. In Bhagavad Gita, which is our holy scripture, Krishna says, Matra sparshasta kaunteya shitoshna shukadukkadaha agama payino anitya tan sitiksha bharata. Just to put it, what Bhagavan says is, Just like how summer and winter follow one another, happiness and sadness follow one another. One who is not disturbed by them, one who is staying in balance despite those things coming, is ready for yoga. So here, I was clearly drowned in sadness, and then I was losing my balance. I wanted to quit.
Yeah.
So then I realized, okay, I'm not doing what I've learned. So what I learned versus my experience is different here. So then I went deeper. I've realized it is nothing but the whole sorrowness came out of my ego. That I came to help them and they were not giving anything back to me.
Yeah.
And I dropped myself from the equation from that moment. So I'm just telling you how the scriptures have actually helped me and shaped my ideas. And since then, I just go finish my job. I don't really bother like if someone is taking care of me or not. It happens now, but still. So that's how the ideology have slowly developed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying that it really helped you, like with religion, a lot of people are really holding up onto it because, for example, I'm Buddhist, right? We don't have a God, so we are not thinking that, oh, God, please help us. We are just reflecting on the situation like you did.
Correct.
And we reflect on our own acts and our behavior. And you're like, okay, I have created this situation. What are my contributions and what do I expect from others? And that's what you exactly did as well. It's like a mental challenge, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's really, it really inspires me to hear that from you, because otherwise going somewhere and then you want to help someone and then expecting something back from it, it is not really helping, right?
In fact, in our organization, I've kind of banned the word help.
Right.
Yeah, because it comes from moral superiority that I'm doing something.
Yeah.
We only use a word called serve. So we're in the service of people. We're not helping them.
You're serving the people.
Yeah, we're serving them, and it is
Yeah.
an opportunity that we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, for me, every time when people are like, why are you doing this and that, and you don't even get anything back, you only get judgmental words and criticism, and I'm like, I don't expect anything back. Like, everything what you do, people will criticize you and judge you for what you are and what you're doing. So I don't expect anything back. The only thing that they do is I serve the people. I give the voice to the voiceless people, and that's it.
Absolutely, yes.
Right? Yeah, it's the same. So that's why I think the one biggest common between Hindu and Buddhism is exactly that, philosophy. So talk about philosophy. What is your core philosophy that guides you in your work?
Core philosophy is to serve selflessly, and it's as simple as that. And then we don't have any borders. Like, okay, this is all we will do. Whatever it takes to serve my people, and whatever they need. We don't just like, okay, focus on education or human rights or something. Whatever my people need, we would go all out and do it. Tirelessly. Like how I was telling, like I get a lot of love. Like in last 2024, I have moved over 157 homes. Like that's an average on an average, like not even like 3 homes, one home every 3 nights. So that's how rapidly I move, and still never tired, because we are just happily, passionately involved in it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So talking about refugees, can you explain more what the Refugee Aid Project is to the audience?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, I said, like, so when I was doing tribal work, I lived in the villages for like 6-7 years. And today we run about 42 schools, and we run a healthcare program completely run by tribal women. For about 22,000 people, we serve medically healthcare every single day. But then there was a time I could feel that, because in Dharma, again, it teaches us one thing, that whoever you're serving as a servant, right, the day they don't need us is when you're successful. So we don't want to make my people dependent on us. We want to, liberate them. We don't want to handicap them. So I knew the day was coming where all the schools, everything that we started can be run by the tribals itself. So the day have come, I could feel that, I have to move out by making it sustainable. So that's when I started researching on more issues where there is no light at all. Like no one knew that this belt was there where there was no electricity until 2012, right? By 2016, everything was done. The schools, everything was there, and the whole system was in place. So then I started researching more on other tribes. So that's when I came across a tribe called Bhil community. These are Rajasthan, which is on the western border of Bharat, India, bordering with Pakistan. So this Bhil community, I started researching about them. Then I realized that a lot of them are actually coming from Pakistan to India. But they do not have any refugee status. They were in a bad shape. So then I researched in few camps in Delhi and in Rajasthan. And actually that's when I met, team members from GHRD, and then I've understood a little more from them, like Jay and, all of them. So that I've understood more of the work. And then after that, I've realized that no one actually knows really deeply about this work. How many people are there? There was no proper platform for it. So I thought, okay, this is something in the cracks. Let us pick it up.
Yeah.
And I did a 13,000 kilometer on a bike, going to each and every home, listening to the people. And that's what have given birth to RAP, Refugee Aid Project.
It's really inspiring. Once again, I think we can be a millionaire for the many times that I say I'm inspired.
Yeah.
So when on your travelings, what are the ideas that came up, and from the ideas, what were the successful ideas and the failed ideas? What have you learned from it?
Again, as I said, I started, if you know the geography of India, I started in the southern tip, Kanyakumari, and then I went across India for 13,000 kilometers for about 4.5 months. And then I came back, right? So when I came back, the situation was so bad that some camps, most of them, 95% of them doesn't have toilets. But even the ones that had, 16 families were using one bathroom. You can imagine 16 families, including women, children, using one bathroom or 3 square feet bathroom. And the rush hour is 6 to 8 in the morning because everyone needs to go for work or school or whatever. So it was a really bad situation. And our women that have come from Pakistan into India after going through so much of trauma there, we'll discuss on why they're coming here. But they were walking 4 to 5 hours in desert. That's 50 to 55 degrees centigrades. Every day just to collect twigs to cook food. And the children were walking 6 to 13 kilometers every day just to go to a school in that desert heat.
That's horrible.
And not a single home had electricity. Because even though they are staying legally on a long-term visa called LTV, they're not legally staying as a citizen, so government cannot give anything. So from there to now, 2 families use one bathroom. None of our women go out to collect twigs. We have created cooking systems, and none of the children walk to schools. They either got cycles, or we started over 30 schools already in the camps. And not a single home, April 8th, 2024, not a single home, Hindu refugee home in India, Hindu, Buddhist and Sikh refugee homes, none of them live in darkness. We have got each and every home light through solar power.
So how do you maintain it? Do you have external support, or how do you maintain all the aid that you are giving?
60-70% of it is self-funded through my yoga workshops. So tomorrow I have one in The Hague, so all of you are most welcome to come and join the yoga session. So I do yoga workshops in UK, US, Australia, and whatever I get, I give 100% back. I give back to the society.
So actually, the participants
yes.
of your yoga lessons are also contributing to your projects.
Absolutely,
right?
yes, absolutely. I mean, that is the whole idea of yoga. It is not what a lot of people try to project it as. If you learn yoga, you become a yogi. You're very subtle. You're very calm. No, it's intense.
Yeah.
It's super intense.
It's more than that.
Yeah, it's very intense. In fact, in our first scripture, it's very clearly said who is a yogi, like a practitioner of yoga. It says Simhavat Sarva Vegena Patantiyarde Kilardinaha. That means a yogi should be like a lion hunting. If you ever see a lion, full thrust, at the peak of its speed, peak of its focus, peak of its stamina, all at one go until the goal is reached. Right? So it is with that sense that we use yoga workshops, and then rest 40% like GHRD have been supporting for a while, and there are many organizations that come forward and support. So it's a team together.
Yeah, it's a team's effort, right?
No, I mean, this whole clothing actually is all my own designs, and everything
Right.
is hand stitched by Hindu refugee women in the camps.
Really?
Everything, like this whole beading, everything is designed. The brand is called Stateless, as it deserved to be called us.
Yeah.
We belong nowhere, and it's a exclusive streetwear brand.
So all the profit coming
Everything. Yeah. Even before profit, like even before this piece comes out of my camp, my women are already paid.
Oh,
My
that's really
sisters and
sweet,
mothers, they're
yeah.
already paid, and then it comes out. So they're already benefited even before it comes out.
Oh, that's really
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are the we have been talking about how Hinduism, Buddhism, and yoga philosophy are helping you to maintain your anger I'm not saying anger issues, but I'm saying more complex feelings. How are you dealing with the complexity of political work and the other bureaucratic systems?
See, I mean, it is a very, as you know, it's a very thin line between, talking for one community, because people try to brand it as, okay, you're only working for a certain community. So that is one argument that I keep getting everywhere. But like how I said, the tribal work that I was doing before, like 80% of them are all like, converted Christians. So that's not the idea, but that's what people say. But we just keep going forward with all our work. That is one thing, and then we never, as I said, nothing really impacts because I'm not dependent on this work. And then, as I said, we work very fearlessly in this.
Yeah.
Once you're not dependent on and because we don't work for glory, we work for our belief. So there is nothing that I get out of it, and whatever comes, we again put it back to the cause. Even
Yeah.
its name, fame, everything. Today I'm here because GHRD heard about the work, and then so it's the name that carried me here. But what am I doing here is again building. I'm hoping that all of us can come together for this cause.
Yeah. So how are you raising awareness besides the clothes line of Stateless and besides of your NGO? What are the things that you are doing besides all of this?
I mean, see, one thing, like going back to the balancing part, you said, like, especially the Western scholars, the media, the academia, they really like Hinduism when it is compromising. For them, assertive Hinduism is not Hinduism. They want compromising Hinduism. They want apologetic Hinduism. And Western scholars like how Gandhiji's or Dalai Lamaji's or something like that. But whenever we want to speak about something that is actually even happening true, they try to just like ban it, saying that, oh, this is not Hinduism. You cannot be aggressive. We are not being aggressive. We are being calm, constructive, and aggressive.
Yeah.
Even then they try to put something back on us. So it's a big issue there, but we are trying to break it through art and culture. So I have something called 7 Decades Silent Refugee Crisis. It's a photo exhibit. So maybe you'll see some of the pictures here. So I'm doing that photo exhibit. I debuted that in Sydney. And then I've also done it in other parts of Australia, and then I've just done my London exhibit, and hopefully we'll do in Hague sometime soon. So that exhibit is really opening up a lot of doors because people are able to see the pictures and they're able to understand what my people go through on ground. There is nothing they can debate about it. So through art and culture, we are really hoping to take this deeper into people.
I do believe pictures can say more than just pictures.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
And I also heard that you are an author of 2 upcoming books.
Yes, correct. Right? Yes. Yeah. It's called Silent Refugees again. So it follows 4 different families on why they had to flee Pakistan and what are the difficulties that they have faced and how they have crossed the border. Not all 4 families were able to cross the border. Only one of them came. So what happened to the rest of the 3? That is the first part. So once they cross the border, it's called Silent Refugees. The first one is called Silent Refugees, The Last Chance. And the second one is called Silent Refugees, Motorcycle and My People. So how I met them and what is the way forward. So they are ready to be published, but as I said, like we are actually right now drafting. We have already drafted a policy to introduce in the Indian Parliament. So I would release those books just before that. so that the books will fire up the arguments and
Yeah.
all of that will happen,
Yeah.
because it's a very sensitive policy.
Yeah, it is. I
Yeah.
think so too. I do agree on that one.
Yeah.
So these are all the strategies that you are using to raise awareness for the public
Absolutely.
audience, for the ordinary people, right?
Absolutely.
You also went to the UK and Australian Parliament, but which strategies did you use to get there?
Truth.
Okay, the truth, of course.
Absolute truth. Like, there is no other strategy. There is only one strategy for this, is go with truth and fearlessly. Because when truth is backing you, nothing can stop it.
The truth can set you free, but first it does mess up your mind. So yeah,
Not
of
really.
course. But
Yes,
how did
it
you
does,
do
it
it?
does.
Because
That's-
it requires a lot of political wordings, terms, and also a lot of more stiff work, right?
It does. But still, I really think once you have truth backing you, only truth shall prevail. That's what even our constitution, Indian constitution, which again comes from Mundaka Upanishad, which is one of our scriptures, it says Satyameva Jayate, that only truth shall prevail.
Yeah.
So I think I always went with that, and every story that I speak is of my people. And even in the UK Parliament, I spoke about this girl, 11-year-old girl, that was kidnapped from her home, and then she was kept in a religious institution in Pakistan, Sindh province, for over 2.5 months, where she was abused. And she was dropped in front of her village as if she was a pack of meat, So, and how she survived. So it's the story of my people, and no one can deny it because I have all the facts backing
Yeah.
it. So I think once we have it, people open up.
So how
And
did you
also
get
we-
into touch? Because most politicians, they are not really interested, right, in personal stories. From my experience, then they're
Yeah.
not really interested in personal situations. So how did you get in touch with the UK and Australian Parliament? I think it will be good for the audience who also want to raise awareness about their people.
I
to
understand.
learn
I
from
mean,
you.
I mean, as I said, I've been tirelessly reaching out, and I was in World Hindu Congress in Bangkok, and I was speaking there, and someone heard it, and then they opened up one of the doors. But I already started it before that, and so sometimes everything just comes into the place. I think we just
Yeah.
have to be persistent. The way I went may not really work for everyone else. So I don't think you just have to keep persistent, and then you'll get there. Is what
Persistence
I
is key, guys.
persistence. Yeah, I was saying, like, motivation will drive you just to get to the door, but it's the persistence that
Yeah.
will make you cross it. Because motivation is like this. One
Yeah.
day you are motivated, next day
And
you have
yeah.
some other thing. But consistency is the key, and persistence is the only way forward.
Yeah. So what is the most biggest last motivational thing that you would like to share with our younger audience who would like to create their own path into raising awareness? What's the last thing that you would like to share?
I mean, I can tell from my perspective that for my community, for my people, because that's what I stand for. For me, see, rebuilding a displaced person, anyone, but for me, rebuilding a Hindu is a civilization responsibility I owe to myself, and so is everyone else, right? So for all our Hindus, I say them only one thing all the time: rebuilding a displaced Hindu life is a civilization responsibility we owe to ourselves, most significantly to our ancestors who have
Right.
thrived so much to keep it alive, and so is to the future generations. And that's about it. And then we gotta speak truth. And there are many conditioned minds that won't take it, but keep persistent.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think the audience needs to process all the information and everything. I think it's really a big honor for me to sit here and
Thank you so
talk
much.
with you, to also hear from your personal experience how you did all of that. And I do hope that we also get to see your 2 books and one maybe in the near future, also the exhibition.
Definitely, yes. I would love to come back here with the exhibit and the books, and then we can all share the stories of my people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone who is watching the 4th episode of the podcast Unity. I really would like to thank all of you for the support, but also on behalf of the Global Human Rights Defense for your continued support for this media team, and keep supporting us, and we will promise you that we will keep working on more content and more news.